Want to help shape a brand new system? Then let me tell you about Legend Seeker and how you can support its development while getting some awesome perks. By subscribing to our Legendary tier on YouTube or becoming a paid member on our Discord, you'll get early access to all Legend Seeker lore and mechanics. This means you'll be among the first to dive into the world of Legend Seeker and give direct feedback that will help shape the game. But that's not all. Supporters will also be the first to playtest the system and will get exclusive invites to private streams where we discuss the game in detail. Your input will play a huge role in making Legend Seeker the best that it can be. Now, for those of you who love watching our tabletop role-playing game shows, supporting Legend Seeker comes with some fun bonuses for the casts. Here's how it works. If you're a Copper member on Discord, you can give a $20 benefit to a player of your choice. Silver members can give a $20 benefit to an entire cast of your choice. If you choose to go the YouTube route and subscribe to the Legendary tier, you can provide a $50 benefit to a cast of your choice. And for the ultimate support, Gold members on Discord give a $20 benefit to all casts across both Geeks and Gamers Tabletop and Moonskull. Every bit of support goes directly towards making Legend Seeker a reality. It helps fund the art, writing, editing, and eventual publishing of the game. So, if you want to be a part of this journey and support our shows, join our Legendary tier on YouTube or become a member on Discord. We couldn't do it without you, and we're excited to build Legend Seeker together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the game.
Hello everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to take a big slurp of my coffee just to disturb you all. Because I like to taste the coffee before I put anything in it. So, you're here for me. Well, you're probably here for the lore. I'm muted? Am I seriously muted? If I am muted, let me know because my setup is bizarre. Everything is working on my end. But if you can't hear me, I need to know. Okay, good. Boop. Haha, you guys are funny. I love you all, despite all this. Anyway, I'm Frost. This is Frost Written, where we're working on the lore for the Legend Seeker RPG that Erudi is writing. We have a Discord, a brand new spanking Discord, in fact, for Moonskull, where you're going to be able to find all this stuff. So hop on over there if you're not already there. And, yeah, I'm just going to be working on the lore of the Godlands, the main area where the gods and the mortals of the realm strode, worked, fought for the majority of their currently recorded history. All right, now I got to figure out what to put in my coffee so I can do this. So I know that Levistro said hotter the better for hot sauce. Jensen said cinnamon and cloves. Well, I could do those. It's up to you guys. Now, here's one thing that I will say to you for the bitters. I'm gonna do the Mr. Rogers thing because I got to put on my not computer glasses to read the little tiny print on the side of this bottle here. Its ingredients are for the bitters. It's all natural stuff. Alcohol, water, prune juice, raisins, spices, chamomile, jasmine, orange peel. This is literally, it's just 44% alcohol. So it's pretty strong stuff, but it tastes really good in coffee. For the hot sauce right now, I've got Tabasco, or I've got the colon cleaner, the 250,000 Scoville unit. And then for the cinnamon and cloves, it's literally ground cloves, ground cinnamon, Saigon cinnamon, if that matters. Both. Try all four at once. You know, I think we have a winner. All right, we're gonna do all of them. We're gonna do them all. All right, we're gonna take some bitters. We're gonna do a couple of drops of this because it's relatively strong stuff. Very floral. It smells so good though. All right, I need a spoon. Where's my spoon? Because I want to mix this stuff in properly. Because if I don't, I'm gonna get some gross stuff in the bottom of my cup. All right. We're going to put in the hot sauce. This is Bolivar bitters. It's jasmine, chamomile, orange peel, and raisins and prunes and things like that. So it's a pretty good smelling one. All right, we're gonna put the hot sauce in with it. It's like we're making a hangover cure, and I'm not even drunk. Oop. All right, spilled a tiny bit of hot sauce right on the edge of my thing here. Let me fix that. Not that I want to, you know, make a mess here, but I just spilled hot sauce on the edge of my keyboard, and I want to wipe that up because that stuff gets a little icky on the keyboard. Let me grab a paper towel. Actually, I have a paper towel right here. I will wipe the edge of this off. Because the last thing we want is spicy fingers later going into my eyes, right? All right, I'm gonna do that. Okay, we got that figured out. So, we got the hot sauce in here. We've got the bitters in here. We're gonna put in some cloves for our writing remedy thing. We're gonna put a few dabs of cloves in there. We don't want to put too much of these in because they kind of go up in my nose and then I'll be sneezing. Oh, that smells so good. And then cinnamon. We're doing alchemy here today. Saigon cinnamon. It smells really good. It smells a little different than normal cinnamon. A more cinnamony cinnamon? Does that make sense? All right, I gotta mix this up pretty well because the dusting of stuff on top sometimes gets a little crazy. All right. Oh my gosh, it smells like a rum glazed ham. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's pretty good. Wow. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. All right. I'm making potions. Spicy finger and I would be entertaining. Yeah! It is fun for us! Spicy finger eye. No! I've already got my wizard eye. If I put stuff in it, it'll just get angrier. Alright, so now we've created the potion for I guess, what would you call that? Inspiration? Our muse juice? Yeah, don't ever say muse juice again. That's a note to me, not to you guys. And, yeah, I'm going to grab a napkin here just for my fingers so I don't do the spicy eye. Now, one of the things I was working on before the stream is I was making a few notes for something that Erudi had asked me. And I thought to myself, you know, we're not trying to go totally realistic with a lot of the stuff in the world because we want to let the GM and the players come up with some of their own things. But we want to have a few places in there that feel just, you know, real. And I thought about this, and I thought, okay, we've got Agrium, the big island, if you recall, that used to be the Empire along the Goblins. And they still have a great navy that patrols the Umbral Sea and the Godland Strait. But they are an island, and they must have a way to get even more timber and lumber. So one of the things I did was I took that little place that they have on the mainland because they still have one foothold, a little tiny like kingdom that they control on the mainland that I think is going to be deeply forested near the coast. And I think that is going to be where they get a lot of their timber, and they fiercely guard that area. So it's really well protected and guarded, and this is where they selectively get their timber for ships and whatnot, maybe for specific parts, because I thought industry and conflict and stuff like that would make a good little topic. So I was playing around with that. Because I watched, if you've never watched, it's a British show that's been on for like 20 years called Time Team. They usually do archaeological digs over the space of, 3 days. And the show, each episode, like, I can't remember if they're 40 minutes or an hour, is a 3-day setup. It's the 3 days, they dig out a whole site, they do all their stuff, and then they get out of it. They did one on Sutton Hoo, which is where there's that massive Saxon longship that was buried in a grave. Actually, there's 2 of them there, and there's a group that's rebuilding the ship. So I was watching the whole thing of how they've been rebuilding it. They started it in 2018, 2019. They may be done with it by now. But it got me in the mindset of, like, shipbuilding. So there we go. Arcane Eye, exactly. No, the wizard has to fill in all the gaps. No, I'm not going to fill in all the gaps for you. No, that's Mort's job. See what I did there? It's Mort week. They didn't find any short ships, only long ships. Blah, blah. Very nice. All right, I'm going to go down to this section. Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm just re-seeing one of the things that I had in here, and I was like, oh, that was a cool place. All right, so Agrium, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to add a section on here for Agrium. All right, I've got the... Okay, the Urdan... Where is the note that I have? Yeah, Usya. We're going to put this here as its own little category. And I don't have this marked on the map even yet because I was vacillating about where I was going to put it. And that reminds me. Because I was also playing around with the idea of roads. So this map is getting really ugly now. That's why when we get, an official person working on the map that can actually do some cool stuff with it, they can make this look better. But I just thought I'd show you this really quickly. What I did is I started putting in little roads and ideas where, like, the actual ancient Agrian roads are, as opposed to, like, the offshoots that are all broken and falling apart. And sometimes these roads have breaks in the middle of them as well. Like, they go to certain points and then the road's been robbed out because it's dots instead of, the big lines. But this is the Godland Strait, and this is Agrium over here. They have a foothold. And I'm thinking, because I was going to put it right here, I think it's actually going to be over in this area. This is going to be a big forested area that they have claimed inside the confines of the river, because this is where Senna fell. This is, the deep forests and things that weren't touched. Freyland has all their stuff over here. And so what I was doing was I'm going to go into here. I'm going to find their trees. These are going to be... Let's see, let's make them a little bigger, and let's zoom in a little bit here. The idea is I'm going to kind of paint in some of this stuff just for my own peace of mind. And I want it to feel, in my mind, when I look back at this, like this is the area that they have taken over specifically because it is a big forested area. And have these things over here because there is supposed to be a natural gap here. That there's a thing up in here that I'm not calling any attention to yet. That's in this part of the Freyland because I'm still working on bits and pieces of that place. But the idea is this coast is supposed to be a very deeply forested place. And it will go out into here. I haven't put this forest down here. There's another massive grassland and forest up here with another feature in it. But this across here is how they get back and forth. And they have their shipbuilding stuff between these 2 rivers. Make them thick and long and floaty. No! This map maker is called Wonder Draft. And I've been playing around with it because you can go into all the layers and things, and you can turn whole sections and things off. You can turn off all the symbols and stuff. I didn't set everything up the right way, but this is mostly for my own use because we'll find somebody to make it, you know, a better one. I've hand painted all these bits and pieces and all this stuff together to try and figure out where the rivers went into the place where Senna fell and how the river filled in, all the bits and pieces and everything that came out through the hills and drained down into the ocean. And, you know, where the Dwarven lands are and their keeps and fortresses and all these things. So, yeah, I'm using it as a kind of a springboard from all my ideas. And occasionally I've changed the map afterwards just to make sure that I have it in my brain. Anyway, we're playing Usia. Rename Godland Strait as George Strait. No! Wonder Draft. I don't know if that makes any, if that's better, because I don't know if Wonder Map is a thing, but yeah, Wonder Draft. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff in Wonder Draft. You can paint it down to like a fine degree of every single piece of every river and do all kinds of stuff. I may do a little stream on my personal channels where I'm playing around with it, working on something for a campaign, and do a couple little shorts that I was playing around with of world building on, because I'm doing stuff with writing, but I'm also doing some stuff with world building in my head, and I want to show people how easy it is to just literally come up with something on the fly for like, you have to run a campaign quickly. Here's how you do it. Yeah, Wonder Draft. Yep. Let's see. Usia. All right. This is... It's an ancient vassal state of Agrium. That the island kingdom has managed to keep control of. Even after the God-Killer War. And I do watch a lot of archaeological shows and like things like that. And one of the things I thought was so interesting watching some of those Time Team episodes and other things is when the Romans were in Britain and then they left and they started to leave, that some of the groups that had been kind of converted for, you know, even at the later stages, they came in, some groups are like, we don't want any of this Roman stuff, this bad Roman stuff. Other people embraced it right away and became, you know, parts of the group, parts of the Roman Empire, and they really embraced it and took in, you know, the idea of the customs, the clothing, and wearing the same type of things that the Romans did, and started really integrating it into their culture. And when the Romans left, some of them were like, we don't want to stay here, we're coming with you. And they wanted to retreat with the army. Some of them could, some of them couldn't. But the impact that left on places and the holdouts, some of these places were like still fiercely loyal even after the Romans started pulling away. I'm like, oh, that is such a fun thing to think about, because if this little kingdom that used to be larger in that map, it used to actually encompass a much larger area. And as the God-Killer War happened, you know, they pulled back and pulled back and pulled back, and it became the main port where the people from Agrium would head back to their main land and bring things back and forth. And it became the most fortified part that they had left. The people there were still so fiercely like loyal to the actual empire that even when the empire kind of fell apart and became just the kingdom of the island, they stayed loyal and still kept that going back and forth, the trade. So they are still a vassal state of Agrium, and happily so, even though they're kind of in the middle of a whole bunch of other kingdoms, but they're so well defended and Agrium uses them for so many resources that they want to stay there the whole time. I've got to look at the groups here. Who were the three groups I had? The those are the youngest. The Vistal. Okay. We'll go with Vistali. I'm saying that they remain fiercely loyal to not only the kingdom, but the romantic idea of Agrium. Okay. Oop, I gotta change that name, don't I? Why do men always think about the Roman Empire? Well, here's the thing, Michaela. It's in everything that our lives touch every day, all the time. I've never really understood it myself. It's an amazing idea. It's a culture, you know, bringing order to the world under the banner of, like, kind of domination and tyrants. But it had such a sweeping effect and change on the entire world. I think it's just, it's kind of amazing. It's the same reason that girls think about pumpkin spice latte. It's Roman season. I don't know. You got the Mort voice in your head? No. Oh, Jensen, yes, you're right. It's a secret. Shh. Michaela, you can't know that? Yeah, nothing. And I went to school for classics, so I took Latin and I took Greek and I took ancient languages and I took classical literature courses, reading, you know, the Apocalyptosis and the poems of Catullus and all that crazy stuff. I kind of wanted to go into archaeology until I met a lot of other archaeologists. Then I was like, well, nope, not gonna do that. And then after a while, after I realized that I didn't share the same worldview as most of the classics students, I also was like, huh. And the same thing with artists. I was like, in all my art classes, I'm like, these people, we don't all get along at all. So eventually I dropped out of college and just went and got a job at a retail store. Like, this is a better use of my time. But unlike everybody else at the store at that time, I could read and write Latin and 5th century Greek. Can't really do that much anymore. It's been a little while since I practiced those. Okay, Deepwater port flanked by formidable defenses greets sailors, and the city itself is walled still in ancient Agrian fashion, though it is showing signs of its age. Boop. Pumpkin spice is part of basic white girl starter kit. I didn't think about PSLs. I'm not that basic. Oh, okay, there we go. You looked in the dictionary for basic and saw Michaela's profile pic. Wow. Normal World had a great Roman discussion on Tuesday night show. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and look at it. You know, one thing that I love in the fall that involves pumpkin in any way, shape, or form, I love pumpkin seeds. Though, I have had a pumpkin spice, or not a pumpkin spice, what is it? It's like a carrot cake, but it was pumpkin cake, like a muffin with cream cheese frosting. That was pretty good. Pumpkin bread is pretty good. It's good stuff. For me, fall is usually apple stuff, though. So, I've got to say, this coffee with all of these things in it is actually pretty good. I'm 3/4 of the way through this cup already. Okay, make sure I don't have any messages over in Discord I need to check. All right, there we go. All right, so the ancient vassal state of Agrium that the island kingdom has managed to maintain control of even after the God-Killer War, largely in part due to the predominantly Vistalic population, who has remained fiercely loyal to not only the kingdom but the romantic idea of Agrium. The main city of Utsya is Vonwick, the port that connects them to Agrium, a deep water port flanked. Let's rewrite that. Main city of Utsya is Vonwick, which connects them to Agrium. Deepwater port flanked by formidable defenses greets sailors, and the city itself is walled. We'll say remains, though it is showing signs of its age. Okay, that's going to be fun, because Vonwick, the big city there, is going to be, you know, like I said, the way they get stuff back and forth, in and out. So. By the way, if you guys hear a little wonk, that's Wonder Draft saving my map, if you ever hear that noise. It's very faint, but... wish I'd read more Greek history, but spent too much time on the few books. Yeah, I loved my Greek textbooks. They were just really well done. They were very good. And I got to read some Greek, but mostly the stuff we read was in the textbooks. We didn't do a whole lot because it was the first 2 years. We didn't do a lot of translating of outside text unless it was an excerpt in the books. We did do passages and we had to translate and set things up right. But I got way more into that stuff in my classics classes when we started. And we didn't read anything in the original Greek and Latin in those. You know, the Orestia and anything by Aeschylus, or, you know, anything, you know, by the Greeks and the Romans that we read. It was all just English with transliteration, you know, Iliad, the Odyssey, all those things. I still love the apokalikantosis, the pumpkinification of Caesar. It was just making fun of him becoming deified, and that was the idea. That's what got me in the pumpkin spice mindset there, is because, you know, the idea that, you know, as a satire, that instead of turning into a god, Caesar became a pumpkin. So. Did you just hear a bug zapper go rapid fire? Yes, you did. And good ears, and this microphone picks everything up, because on the opposite side of my basement, I have a hydroponics set up that I have nothing growing in right now. I just have water flowing through it, just to keep it going, because I want to plant some stuff coming up for the fall and winter. I want to plant some more little spinach and little microgreens and stuff in it. But since it has water in it, occasionally there'll be little those little fruit flies will get over there. And so I have the bug zapper sitting over there, and occasionally they'll go through. But if a fly or something gets in here, it makes some noise. Fun fact, Starbucks has a variant of the pumpkin spice latte they have in a hidden menu called the Michaela-ish PSL. If you heard it on the net, so you know it's true. Uh-huh. They didn't put pumpkin flavor in it? Interesting. There's no, we know that the, it's going to be, the secret menu version of anything at Starbucks would be a Chuck Norris for Michaela. Avalon Project has a lot of historical docs. Oh, Caesar's Journal's in there. That's cool. Frying the bugs. Weed? Oh, no. Though that window is so fun because in the corner of the basement, it's like right next to my workbench, there's a casement window and a big casement window here where that bug zapper is hanging over the hydroponics thing. It casts that wonderful bluish purple UV light. On the outside of those windows at night, when it's the right season, the little peeper frogs all climb up onto the window and they just hang out because all the bugs try to get there and they just sit there and they have a feast. So there's these little peeper frogs that hang all over my window at night trying to get to those bugs, and they just love it. It's like I put out a light at Arby's or something and they're like, yeah! Unfortunately, since they're frogs, then they leave poop on the walls. And I just go with a broom or the power washer and just wipe it down because it's gross. Pumpkin spice, not pumpkin pie. Those times when you're asked to do stuff and you're not in your job description, I'm now a craftsman. Pro draftsman because I get paid. Yay! Well, good job, JJ, and welcome. I haven't done a drafting anything. Well, that's not true. I was going to say, since high school, I did do a couple in college for a project in my art class, which the teacher really liked and everybody else was confused about, because I did a drawing that was like a 3/4 view of a draftsman page, and I had the thing popping up out of it, so I was trying to do 3D out of a 2D of the thing actually popping out. So I did the draftsman thing like you normally do a draftsman, but I did it a 3/4 view with perspective, so I had to do all the lines for all the block text and everything. It was a crazy project, but he liked it. It was pretty cool. Like I said, not everybody else liked it. I always enjoyed drafting. I thought it was a fun class I had in high school. I think it was one of the coolest classes I had in terms of technical anything in high school, because we not only did drafting, we got to do metal casting and welding and everything. It was kind of an all-in-one introduction class. It was fun. I learned a lot. All right. Oh, that's right. I was going to talk about the logging industry. There we go. We'll see consoles. I don't know if that's going to stick, but we'll see. All right, so we got the entry for Utsya and the Vestali and the city of Vunwick. You created a legal hunting lure for frogs as the Fed make an appearance from time to time. I don't know. I have pictures of them, and none of them look familiar to me. They all look a little cagey, like, hey, man, we don't got no problem. No, don't come at me. I'm just here for the bugs. Logging industry implies there's a demand for logging puns. Wooden Chrysanth, love that. But wow. She would, but she's not here. You know why? Because you drove her away. That's not even a pun. That's just, you just drove her away. You made her like a tree and she got out of here. No, isn't that how that goes? Make like a tree and... No? Mm-hmm. Because I know somewhere she's listening, somewhere, and her ears are burning, and she'd probably come kill me if I punned. I did enough puns accidentally last time. I'm not going to do them if I can help it. Well, now we know she isn't lurking. Exactly. Don't leave trees lying around. Wow. Alright, do I need to make any other notes on this city and state? I'm going to say the ocean trade routes. Deepwater port, flanked by formidable defenses, greets sailors, and the city itself remains walled in ancient agrarian fashion, though it is showing signs of its age. Okay. Dun dun dun. Gutebag. All right, that is all I need to put in there for this. I do need to come up with some more name examples, but I'm going to take that and move it to the end of the entry. Because the other thing that I noticed that I probably should do for the benefit of GMs and players is each one of these major kingdoms, countries, entries, I have the conflict, the capital, the largest city, blah, 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 all that stuff. At the very end, I think I'm also going to put examples of names. And we'll see, you know, because it's possible that those will be useful. But it's also possible that Erudi will just say, let people figure them out. We'll see. So I'm going to be adding this to the end of each one of these entries here really quickly. Name examples. Let me get to the Dwarven nation. Okay, there we go. Boop. All right. Right. All right, we're going to say border over the orcs. So I'm hopping all over the place here because I just went to another section. I was like, ooh, I didn't fill in the major conflict and stuff for the Dwarven nation. That would be entertaining. Nugget is probably out sawing logs. Wood putty all those holes. Yeah. Yeah, all those things. I missed a few here. Log of this stream will lose its bark after a while. Spy Santa's always lurking. I would love to say I saw that. Chrysanth coming after you. Enters bathroom, looks at mirror, and turns on the light, or turns the lights off. Nugget, nugget, nugget. Wow. Wow. And Dave, I'm not even going to say the one next one you said. That's horrible. Yeah, she is here. All you have to do is say what Shadow Warden says, and she will be summoned. Speaking of the she-devil, and she appears. Yay, we summoned her. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Chrysanth. I was not taking part in this. I happened to be reading them off, but I'm trying not to pun. So Chrysanth, so far you've missed a lot of wood-related puns because I was talking shipbuilding and archaeology and Greek and Latin this and Roman this and that. And you missed what they had me put in my coffee. So today's coffee was bitters, aromatic bitters, with chamomile and raisin and plum, or not plum, but prune and all these other flavors in it. It's a very aromatic set of bitters. Plus chipotle Tabasco, plus ground cloves, plus Saigon cinnamon. So it was suggested that I just go for broke and put all four in. I did, and it's really good. It's really good. I'm kind of surprised. Chipotle Tabasco is amazing, yes. Oh, man, he lies. He made the first one. Total instigator. Mm-hmm. For all your ship talking, you're no pun wizard. All the Romans come wandering in. Wandering in? No. Wizard just read the spells that chat created. There's no way that could go wrong. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I probably shouldn't have read that out loud. Why are you here, Chrysant? Shouldn't you be writing your wedding vows for tomorrow's mummy's mask? Oh, dear. Sorry, I just had to... I was messaging Erudi because he said something to me that was funny. Anyway. Why are you here? Oh, no, that was a... Thank you later. No, this stuff usually doesn't... I don't usually have that problem with my constitution, my digestive system. If anything, it makes me really warm while I'm sitting here. And then I'm just... I don't know, a normal person. Chipotle Cholula is really good. I'm a little more partial to this, but I like regular Cholula a lot. You know, one hot sauce that I just absolutely love, which I can't get here anymore, but maybe I could find online, is Arizona Gunslinger. It used to have a little felt cowboy hat on the top, so you'd unscrew it, it was a cowboy hat. They stopped doing that, I think. But that was some really tasty stuff. I really enjoyed that one. They have 3 kids. Is she renewing those vows? Ugh. Oh no. Yes, Levistro, it's all ugh. Ah. Did I spell that word right? I did, okay. I'll charge him rent. Charge that demon rent. You missed the old energy drink bottle. Looked like an NO2 racing bottle. Do you think they changed that because people were confused or something? I wonder why they did that. All right, where was I at with this one? Ah, okay. All right, I can change this. Let's see, did I find this before? Where did I put? Wait a second, what did I? Oh, nor. Okay. I spelled my own word wrong. Boop, there we go. Agrarian colonies. Okay. There we go. See, this is the problem. Erudi starts talking with me, and we start bouncing ideas off one another when we're talking about something, and I'm like, I love it. It's creating some horrifying things for everybody, but it's fun. The old design was a symbol of white patriarchy. Yeah! I don't believe you, Levistro. Sevi thought in 1911 was a revolver and playing Russian roulette. Well, Sevi didn't know what a 1911 was. Not everybody knows the model 1911 is a 45 caliber auto pistol. Because, to her credit, though, Clay does have a 45 revolver in his roll-up things. So he did have a 45 revolver that I think somebody had, and it got confiscated or we lost it. I don't remember who had it. So he had both, and she might have been confusing those two. Apparently Cholula sells burrito bowls at Winn-Dixie. Really? Oh. I've been to a Winn-Dixie a couple of times when I was down in the South in different places. I think there was one in... I'm not sure if it was in Alabama. If it was in Gulf Shores, Alabama, it might have been a Winn-Dixie. Now I don't remember. I think it was. It was a really nice store. And I was told that it was a nice store by all the locals because they said the reason it's such a nice store is all the snowbirds and all the people who come down for vacation frequent it. And they have the widest variety of stuff because they started stocking things that a lot of the people from up north wanted that they didn't have. So the people down there go to the place too and frequent it. And it is one of the most frequented stores in the area because it has tons of things you can't find at any other grocery chain down there. So, or that location does anyway, which was cool. It was smart. It was very smart. I think it's a Winn-Dixie. I can't remember now, though. My headcanon is a mafia boss. Didn't know either. Jimmy lost it. I believe it. He probably threw it away when he threw away the, what do you call it? The scalpel stuff. Yeah. There we go. Well, we have Aldi up here. So, I mean, it could be. Aldi was an interesting store. I think it was founded by two German brothers who had a falling out at some point, as far as I recall. Let me check here and see here. Let's go to the map here and see. Where is it here? Okay. It's here. Where doesn't it show it? Oh, is that it? Let me check here and see if this is actually the right spot. Yeah, there is a Winn-Dixie in downtown Gulf Shores. So yeah, I think that's the one. And it's such a, like I said, it's such a touristy place out there that it was a really good store. I mean, that was years ago. I haven't been there for years. So who knows now? Who knows? All right. Hans and Franz, they want to pump you up. They might. They might, Rabbit. All right, my coffee cup's going over there because I'm done with it. So I don't keep trying to drink my existing coffee. No falling out. One just wanted to sell wine and cigarettes. Oh, I thought there was something specific about though. Did they change the brand, or did one of them drop out of the thing? I can't remember. I watched the whole thing on the Aldi story, Jensen. Okay. Should set up shop at the Levy and Ed whiskey. Demand for whiskey and wine there. And rye. Scrap permit, yeah. See, look at you guys with all your Aldi lore over here. All the Aldi lore. All right, so I've got to come up with this name. All right, so this is kind of a little bit off the cuff, but I'm gonna share something with you guys since it is Mort Week. God help us all. That working with Erudi on one of the legendary characters for the setting, there is a roguish figure that is not. He's not as slapstick as other Morts. He's just an homage to the idea of Mort. So he's not the, I'm going to stick things into a door, I'm going to, use the word hard in every sentence. But the idea of a Mort, who is a character, like I said, he's a, what would you call it? He's a concept. He's an idea. He's like the idea of Zorro. He's the idea of the Scarlet Pimpernel. He is a Dread Pirate Roberts-like figure. He's a roguish highwayman. He's a bard of renown who seduces the ladies and leaves all kinds of, sadness in his wake because, the ladies just can't get enough of him. And the men are angry at him. But he is a concept. The idea is that he is a character who has been around for a very long time. They call him, almost like refer to him as a barbarian, because he is very over the top in terms of his behaviors. Not like Mort-like, but he's coarse, but he's lovable coarse, and he is, like I said, a concept because there have been many of them, many Morts. They take the name of Mort, the next person in line. And he's been around for a while, so nobody knows who the first Mort was, but it's kind of a mantle that someone adopts. And he is going to be one of the legendary iconic characters, specifically the Bard. And he's going to be a lot of fun. We were just riffing off this idea in chat right here. The Noble women find him daring. Noble women find him like, oh my goodness, he's such a barbarian. But look, he's such a barbarian. The men hate him, and he is, a force for maybe sowing a little bit of chaos, mystery, and romance around. So again, like I said, he's not going to be the typical Mort that's all slapsticky and crazy that people will cringe as much at. He'll be a much more stable character, I dare say. A fun character that we can enjoy, because somebody else could become the new Mort. Oh God, no, Michaela says. Dungeon Daddy in old age relaxed. All the A and all the B. Okay. If I playtest this and bump into this idea, I'm un-IDing the idea. You've never seen Erudi do lovable course. Yeah, this Mort is kind of an homage in mostly name. The character will be different. He won't be, doing all that stuff. If you ever watch the old, the Scarlet Pimpernel, if you've watched, Brotherhood of the Wolf, if you watch some of these characters where they have like a roguish figure, or even, Princess Bride, Dread Pirate Roberts without the comedy part of it, a roguish person who has an agenda, has some predilections to, romancing and thieving, that also has stories told about him, possibly writes his own, a little bit of the bard from The Witcher without all the weird baggage. The idea of that sort of, he can be many things to many people, but he's kind of a folk hero, but a very rough folk hero that some people don't like, is more like the idea that I'm getting in my head. Still working stuff out. This literally came to, me and Erudi, we were just thinking about this just literally right before the stream and right now. And half of this, I'm just working on it in my head right now, how we could make him entertaining, fun, and not over the top to make everybody go. The Gray Fox and Elder Scrolls, don't really know it, but yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Character will be the most deleted by players in Legend Seeker history, like D&D's. Erudi doesn't have the charm for a good Mort. I'm sorry, Erudi, you're getting called out. Okay. Yeah. It's sort of that idea, but this is more like literally like the Zorro, the Phantom, the Dread Pirate Roberts, an idea of that kind of a person who's like, I'm getting old, I'm gonna die at some point, or that one died and somebody else finds the person is like, you need to be this new person, take it up, go to this part of the world, start the legend, come back later, and just do what you're gonna do, but move down the coast away so these people don't know who you are. I give you more. We're gonna retcon him out, and that's the beauty of it. GMs can take and use whatever parts they want and take anything out they want. Mort is like cheap sandpaper, toilet paper, has added aloe, it soothes as it stings. To be fair, Fallister is only an idiot because he got super chatted into stupidity. Sure. Hey, I still like Fallister. I like the way you play Fallister, even though I still don't love the idea that he was basically forced into the position he's in. I understand why he was, but I think you play him well, which is fun. He's not afraid to do the things that his character sheet says that define him, which is always good. The home of the king. All right, I'm working on the Dwarven capital really quickly because I don't have the name of the specific city. All right, situated in the fore of Mount Silverbound, this is the seat of the Dwarven Kingdom's political power, the home of the king. Okay, major trade deals are ratified by this council and they're negotiated here. So this is one thing that I'm putting about the dwarves is the dwarven rulers make no treaties or deals on since they are so powerful. The dwarves, they don't make any treaties or deals in the lands of other people. They require all supplicants and applicants to come to them. Kind of they're like, yeah, I'll shake your hand. Come here, shake my hand. That idea. They don't even meet you halfway because they know they have the power, they have the money, they have the place. And it's it's a power move by the dwarves. Dream lasagna. Fallister is horrible, Mort is better. Fallister is a slave and Mort is power top. Okay, Dave. Dream lasagna. I really want lasagna now. I hate you all for bringing up dream lasagna again. Damn it. Damn you all! Alright, I've got to come up with a good name for this place. Let me see here once. Let's check this here. Okay, I lost my word. Ah, here we go. All right. All right, I can move this down to here. actually delete this. I just realized I'm duplicating a section here really quickly. Let me put this one thing in here. And my cats are knocking over their little whatchamacallit upstairs. That's fantastic. I may have to go up there and pick up their thing again. They have a little two-tiered hammock. It's like two circular hammocks with posts. And, you know, one cat or two cats can lay on the top, two can lay on the bottom. And occasionally, if there's somebody in there and one of the other cats is like, nope, I want to be in there, they will knock things over. And that's not fun. And they get grumpy about it. And specifically, usually it's two of my bigger cats. They usually want to be in there at the same time. And unless they're asleep next to each other, they're just like... Okay, I can delete this line. Okay. Alright, I can save that. Boom. There we go. I put this in the right spot now. This is called Mount and Bremen and Rivenmont. Okay. We'll put that there. Anyway, I missed a whole bunch of stuff here. There is no page 36. Alright. Oh man, you guys were talking while I was doing this. Alright. Felster's really supposed to be more interested. Got super chat into leashes and getting his hair shaved and other weirdness. Mort was your revenge. He will have a whole page though. Wow, no. He needs to be cleansed. You're gonna make a special one-shot for Michaela where she has to pick one of two tunnels. Mort is at the end of one and Rudy Poo at the end of the other? I would just off myself. Aww. She has to pick a tunnel when there's an undying curse on her. Oh no. Mort is the legend seeker. Oh, good God. No. All right. So, I am going to really quickly here because I want to go put that thing back up for the cats so they don't get all grumpy with one another. I'm going to put you on the Be Right Back page. I'm going to go quickly grab that, set it up, and grab myself a drink. I'll be less than a minute. I'll be right back. All right, not only did I get a drink out of the deal, I got a writing buddy out of the deal. Calvino decided he wanted to come say hello to everybody. Hi, buddy. You want to say hello to everybody? Or do you just want to snuggle? He's sort of saying hello. He's really happy to just kind of be sitting in my arms. Right, buddy? No? He was napping. Hi. Hello. How you doing, bud? Mm-hmm. Thanks, bud. You want to go down on my lap? Okay. He's like, I require the lap. There you go, bud. Good boy. He flopped down and started cleaning his tail immediately. So, let's see. Now that we've been doing all the crazy stuff with Mort, there we go, Calvino. Let's see. I'm playing around with the Dwarven Kingdom. I'm going to have to unify a couple of these names because I use a slightly different naming convention at the beginning. Okay. It's funny, he's looking over at the Kick Chat right now because the Kick Chat has some emojis that are dancing around and he's just like, oh, what are those? All right, pal. All right, we've got staccato. Okay. All right, so we got this. It's okay, Kelby. He's every time I start speaking, he's like, "What? It's okay. It's okay, buddy." I think he wants me to be completely quiet so he can just fall asleep. Too bad, bud. You wanted to come down here. It's your own fault. Okay. I have, evidently, even though my voice is, very strange, it must be incredibly close to something that cats like the sound of, because when I meet with one of my producers, every time we have a one-on-one and she wants to, chat about something, I will start talking, and her cat, one of them will be like, and I'll see her cat in the back of her house all of a sudden just come around the corner, pet, go out of view, and hop up on her and sit there and just like hang out with her. And she only does that when I'm in a meeting with my producer. She's like, she does this never, ever. She never comes and visit me when I'm working. Whenever you start talking, because she doesn't use headphones, she just immediately is like, I'm here. So I've got a voice that cats like, even if all the humans find it grating. Like JT. Not that JT's grating. I'm grating to JT. That's what I mean. I just want your body, not your voice. He wants to sit on my lap and be just petted. He just wants his little scritchy scratches behind his ears or his tummy scratched all the time. That's his thing. Mm-hmm. All right, so I got the next thing I wanted to mention here. I'll move this down to the next section. The Thornwood. All right, I gotta figure out where the Thornwood goes. Hey, bud. JT's grading? No, JT's a fine person. I did pick on JT about his big mug last night, though. Didn't I, JT? Though it didn't work because he said good. All right, we can capitalize this. Look at him. Look at him spewing out all those facts or something like that. We'll go with facts. What's up, buddy? What? What? What do you need? You want to say hi? Meow? He's just chittering at me right now. Just, if you can hear those little, Wow, wow. So, that's what she said. Real quick, one other thing. I was trying to figure out where I put that note. Oh, I did write it up here. Talking about all that stuff, I'm going to look at my map here for my own reference here. If you guys were to think of the idea of and I've got to cover this again later, the idea of a human port that is not like, the big stone Romanesque thing, more like a port where you'd find lots of wooden piers and such like that. Do you think that it would be too weird to have any kind of like defenses on something like that in a fantasy world? And sometimes you see that, but I was trying to keep that to like the big city that was the old Agrian thing. But most of the times these smaller ports where people bring trade ships and stuff in don't need anything besides the ships defending it, so they don't have like a big star fort or any kind of like defenses that raise up in the water or anything like that. I'm literally just trying to think along the lines of, does that seem jarring to have like the human ports not have to worry about that? It doesn't, for whatever reason, in my mind. I mean, you can have the river chains like we've talked about before, the booms across the river that they could pull up, but I'm not sure how important that is to the lore and the ideas here. Some places like the Godland Strait, where the Agrians have their island, they may have some of those, but yeah, smaller wood ports, easier to rebuild and defend. And that's why I was thinking that, speaking of exactly what you mentioned too, Jensen, is the idea of, some magic users doing things would be pretty cool. Or even like a druid, if they're near like a more rural area. If there's a druid that's like, yeah, we don't want people coming in and despoiling and wrecking things, they might be able to help. But any sort of magic user would be interesting. Okay. That could be fun. Yeah, okay. I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to put that over my other document, though. Not in this main one. All right. Paste that over there. Hey, Calvino, can I have my hand back? I'm typing mostly using this hand because I've got a cat who's got a hold of it. He's got a hold of it with his claws right now. He's like, mine! If monsters are common, then so are defenses. Yeah, and now I believe the defenses would definitely be on land, but I'm thinking more like from the water side, because I have talked about things that are out in the sea, like we brought up the idea of the actual sea lions, which are really cool, and things like that. But I don't know if any of those things would mostly attack a port. They might, I suppose, and the magic users would be there. I think the land side defenses would be more prevalent, given the fact that orcs and goblins and monsters wander the lands here and there. The water might be better just having it literally some towers with ranged attackers or ranged defenders. Yeah, fireball and attacking a wood ship would be quite effective. That's true. Use magic to make docks illusionary so they disappear when bad ships try and approach. There you go. We can't dock. There's no docks. Smash. I suppose, yeah, there could even be somebody out there doing weather control. Could be kind of fun. Oops, sorry, buddy. I'm going to steal my hand back because I need it. Nope. Buddy, let go. Ow. I got a hole in my wrist because of him. I have my arm sitting on his tail, and I kept feeling his tail flipping, and I was trying to figure out why his tail was flipping so much, because he was trying to move his tail. It was pinned under my hand. Oops. All right, River Gold. The Gnome Enclaves. I still don't have a note on the Gnome Enclaves. Now, we covered the Seal Island, which is near Agrium, which has the kind of somewhat independent gnomish group on it. Kitty cat here on my soda. But I want to put another Gnome Enclave somewhere. Besides, we also talked about him down in the Umbral Atoll. I think it would be good to have gnomes somewhere in Fryland, because I've got this big selection of hills between there and Sennis Fall. I think it would be a good place to put them. But what I'm trying to decide is if they are going to be an individual place, if they're going to be separate, because most of the time I have the halflings and gnomes in their own little kingdoms with the other people. But having a gnomish kingdom, it just feels strange. Because, you know, they could defend themselves, but they have to have a very interesting way to defend themselves. So I'm toying with putting one of them on the coast near the Soul Spires. So they have a port, they have their hill defenses, and they're a very unique group of gnomes. Yeah, types of monsters would inform what kind of defenses would be in place. That's why I like leaving them a little rougher, like saying they have a walled palisade, they have this net, but making a note. I made a couple notes in the beginning here that the GM is totally, it's up to them if they're like, you know, I would rather have a lot more like spellcasters and people out here roaming in bands. I would rather have orcs coming meleeing and or whatever they're gonna do. They can adjust the wall defenses. The worst thing I ever see is when somebody's like, well, no, the defenses say they're this, and people are like, well, we're using this against them. They're like, oh, crud. Yeah, the person who wrote the module or did the thing didn't think of that. I'm like, well, it's your job. Change it. Change it up. You getting yourself in a better position, bud? Hi. Yeah, he's got that arched back. He's like, here, scrunch my back. Yeah, Illusory Reef could keep up people. Would be kind of cool. David the Gnome. David the Gnome? I don't know David the Gnome. What? How are you? What is that, Calvino? That is like the most uncomfortable position to land ever. Whatever, you're a cat. You're liquid. Be liquid cat. Right, so we're going to find in here. Let's see, most of them, we'll say most of them safely within the borders. Larger kingdoms. Okay. What? What'd you hear? You hear the kitties upstairs make a noise? All right, you're probably just your brothers and sisters ramping around. Oops, and all right, so we'll put the first one in here. First enclave of the gnomes. And we'll do another one here. Okay, gnomes. This one is situated along the southern coast of the Soul Spires. Enclave dates back to before the God Killer War. Gnomish kings and queens. Okay, there. So, the Gnomish kings and queens of this place that I've named keep their small city-state safe through the centuries by making clever treaties, because gnomes can be clever, and making their products uniquely desirable through the Godlands. Namely, they're amazingly so basically, one of the things that I want them to have is the gnomes. One of their things is the travel rations that they make. Their fish and whatever base rations they produce, which have an amazingly long, I'm calling it a larder life, and taste good as well. So something that they can make, given their skills and their cleverness, that tons of sailors and other people and travelers desire and want. Which could be fun. We'll let the DM kind of come up with some of that. Let's see. Weather control druid wizards like a lighthouse manager. Yep. Types of monsters inform what kind of defenses. David the Gnome, and you remember the stories? No, I definitely don't remember the stories. Could tie it to alignment too, like only good or neutral alignments have a chance to see through the illusion. Oh, that could be kind of interesting. Evil can't make the DC. You know, I just realized something. Mort is canon in Star Wars, has an entire planet with his name on it. Mortis, and it's not like the Mortis gods. No, Gino, no. Not real. None of it's real. Why would you do this to us? Oh, David the Gnome. Oh, okay. Well, he looks like a typical gnome in the little video you sent me, Dave. I will watch that after I'm done here. All right. Okay, there we go. We don't know what the name of that place is, but it's a good place. It's just Fishville. No, I'm kidding. It's not Fishville. It's just the intro to the show? Okay. if you guys can hear that, but Calvino is snoring on my lap. Might not be able to because his head's partway under my desk slightly. I'm scared to move myself. That's why I'm sitting at this odd angle, because if I turn, I don't want to catch his head on the desk. He's so kind to me. He just flops wherever he wants. Alright, so there's one gnomish enclave there. I think the other one is going to be probably along the coast. Yeah. I think I'm going to make this place a fortress mine. It's on way on the east coast near Lost Alasia. It's a fortress mine that the gnomes have. That was built with the help of the dwarves long ago. Complex of mines is the source of iron, copper, and tin for many traders. Alright. We're just going to leave that one at that for the moment. We'll call it that. Mortis would have been a part of DL episode 7. Everyone would have hated it then. Hi, what's up, buddy? You woke up with a start when I went, Calvino, you got a Calvino over on Kick. He just did this with his face. Oh, now he woke up again. Okay, well, you're extreme today, buddy. You're just extreme. All right. Let's go back up here really quickly because I just remembered there's one other note I wanted to make. Seal Isle, this place that is part of Agrium. A small gnomish colony that is generally recognized under the rule of Agrium, while the relations between the two... Okay. First colony receives. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to relate those two. Did I put the location outline Isles of Agrium? We'll see. I may put this on the other coast. We may move this around. We'll see, because I think this is going to be Agrium control. I think Seal Island will be off here. Okay. Yeah, that could work. Right, buddy? What did you get all over me here? Why do I have leaves all over me? What did you do? He's just like, give me those back. No, you got burrs all over me, buddy. What? How'd you do that? My gosh, he is good. It's that rip and tear method he has of getting them out of his fur. He'll sit there and do this and then just go bleh and spit them. He's amazing at that. He can fling those things for a foot. Can't you, bud? Troublemaker cat. Alright, so for the gnomes, I think I'm going to leave it at that. We've got Seal Isle. We've got the 2 unnamed gnomish enclaves here. I'm going to change this title to gnomish enclaves. And give these 2 their separate little names. We're not going to put anything else on. Okay, anyway. Yes, it is International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Indeed. In one of my meetings today, somebody brought up the age-old joke of what's a pirate's favorite letter? And immediately, most everybody went, "R, R, 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 R." And he said, "Yar, you'd think so. But it's actually the C." Like, wow. Exactly, Crescent. And it is my, let's see, one of my younger brother's wives, well, my sister-in-law's birthday today. It's one of my nephew's birthdays today. Talk Like a Pirate Day. I'm sure there's other things going on too. Yep. Someday I will totally, I don't know if I subject you to, maybe subject you to, the long joke. There's a short version of the long joke, and there's the long version of the long joke, which makes the payoff all the more worse, that features a pirate. So someday you guys have to remind me when we have like 5 minutes or so in the show. I will try and tell that joke. I have to remember the whole thing, but yeah. It's a good one. You heard something about pirates? Yeah, today, like I remember I told you that it was too bad you guys didn't have your Tuesday game today, because it's Talk Like a Pirate Day, Savage Talk. It would have been perfect for you guys. You want the long version of the joke? More like some long, oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, Solinor. I think I got that stuff all locked down. So I've got to come up with the name of that city too. Yeah, we can do that. And I've got to find out where we're putting the failed colony of Concordia that Erudi wanted in here. I've got a few different spots picked out for it, but I have to figure out the perfect spot. The perfect spot. Loves those jokes, a little saucy. Uh-huh. Wah, wah. That's so bad. That's so bad. Hey, JT, totally speaking of something that makes absolutely no sense with what we've been talking about, it just popped into my head because I have 3 or 4 or 5 different threads going in my head. The forums and patch notes that they're talking about with balancing things for PvE and Space Marine 2, one of the things they mentioned was changing the way the multi-melta works or something like that. They made it sound like the multi-melta or the melta rifle or whatever heals the player somehow. I'm like, what? Does it? And how bad the and that they want to make some fixes to melee because it's not as good as the ranged attacks right now. There's a bit of a discrepancy in the damage and everything. Yeah, I'm like, wait a second, that can't really be true. So yeah, I'm gonna find the link again and see if I can send it to you, because it didn't make sense to me. It made no sense. And I was hoping it was a mistake in their forum, because that doesn't seem to make any sense at all. All right, so we got the Green Heart, we got Menford, we got this stuff named. I'm looking for big question marks for things that are not named. Oh, that's him. That's him purring. I was like, what is that weird noise? That's a certain purr cat per kitty. All right. Okay, there's something that needs a name. One of the things I need to come up with a name for here is up in the northern orc lands, there are those winged creatures that create the thick twisted nets in the great thorn trees. And they hunt in small packs, they scouring the plains for food. Getting into their nests is a challenge. Orcs don't undertake except as a penance or a rite of acceptance. And the feathers of these birds are sharp edge like obsidian when attached to the living specimen, but they lose the quality when removed. So I was trying to come up with a name of these birds. Obviously, we don't want to call them thorn birds because we don't want the author to come after us of the story. But I'm trying to find something that is a fun name for these birds that the orcs, something the orcs would call them, a simple name, like a couple of syllables or something like that, that kind of delineates, like you could call them ruff, 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 ruff. Think of an orc saying it in a gruff way. Hey VJJ, how are you doing? How you doing? Because, you know, nobody asked how VJJ doing. Pokebird? No, no Pokebird. No Pokebird. Pokered. Michaela feels like death. No, that's not good. I'm trying to think of a word that has that, some of the sounds from sharp or knife or cut, like usker, kutta, ark, ark. Every time I'm saying those, Calvino goes, eh, eh, eh. Well, I'm doing those hard sounds, the k sounds, the cut sounds, the slicey sounds, cut and slice and. These birds they live in huge thorn tree nests. Their feathers are sharp edged like obsidian, so they can really cut someone when they go after them. They hunt in small packs, scouring the plains. But the feathers, once they're removed from the birds, no longer have that cutting quality. It just kind of, they become more brittle and fall away. But when they're alive, they have that almost razor-like quality to the edge of their feathers. So I'm trying to come up with something that's got a good cut and tear and something sound that an orc would call them. Forkerd. I kind of like the idea of Tharks, because saying what you're saying, Tharks, but that sounds like something. That sounds like something from. That sounds like something from Barsoom. It is. There's the Barsoom. I was like, wait a minute. That sounds like. Go with the flow. I'm never upset unless I'm flying or fixing stuff and people tell me how to do my job. And unfortunately, I'm an unmistakable jerk. Hey, well, as long as you have some work to keep you busy, right? Well, you know what would make your job work. Oh, wait, never mind. I did have somebody today tell me how to do my job, which was fun. they hopped into a message and I was pinged in it because they were asking questions, and they said, "Oh, here, let me take this. Here's how you actually do this." And I felt really bad for them because they were so wrong. Like, ooh. And this person is relatively new. So I just messaged them on the side and said, actually, here's the way you actually do it. I said, if you're looking at our old documentation from like the last project, it's completely changed. And I sent them the new thing. And they said, OMG, I am super duper embarrassed now. What do I do? I said, just correct your thread. Don't delete it. Just go in there, correct it, and say, oh, okay, I was given the correct information. You don't have to say I gave it to you. I said, just, here's the correct information. They said, thank you for being graceful in getting me out of my foot out of my mouth without me biting off my toes. I said, well, I could have been a jerk, but I'd rather work with you than against you. So they were very happy. I think I made a friend. I hope. We'll see. I'm buttoning up for the day anyway. Nice. Sorry, didn't mean to yell at you. Well, Dave. Damn you, Dave. It's okay, Calvino. I'm not saying damn you to you. He woke up with a start and looked at me like, what? It's okay, bud. Just calm down. Go to sleep. It's so fun having a cat in my lap while I'm talking to you guys. It's always your fault. It's always your fault, Dave. Always. All right, so you gave me some good thoughts on that one for the name. So right now I have them down as the Threk. We'll see. Maybe that will stick. Maybe it won't. I'm just trying to come up with something that I think that the orcs would say and point them out as. Okay. All right. So I'm going to save that one. Make sure I have it saved really quickly. Well, we got about 10 minutes left. Okay. I'm going to look over a couple more entries here because I did some editing off screen. This is where I wrote it here. Okay, I didn't put any info in these two entries. I'll have to come back to those. I'll come back to those. I have them notes. Yeah, it is a tough one, Michaela. It's because I want something quick, punctual, cutting, with those hard Ks. I would like a Z in there. A Z might be cool, but Z kind of implies that snakiness. When you look at a Z, you're like, nah. And you can get some good sinuous names out of that. Like S's and Z's are good for thieves and people who are doing kind of naughty things sometimes. And hard Ks kind of have that clipped feel of like somebody who's like doing something bad. You know, like Michaela, Chrysant. Wait a second. Michaela, I've never known you look as animated as ever based on your avatar. She's doing a good job. Okay, that's interesting. What a weird message. Okay. Thanks, Discord. Kiru is Japanese meaning to cut. Yep. I think you suggested. I have that noted somewhere in one of these documents. That's why I remember that one, because I think you mentioned that before to me when we were talking about maybe about these or maybe about something else. I don't remember what it was. Nezef. Now, Nezef sounds very cool for something in the Azure Kingdom, because they worship Mordecai And that's kind of a cool sounding name. That could be a place. I'm writing that down as a possible idea. Even if it's the sound of it that makes sense. Alright, where is... That's Black Barge. Azure King... Ah, here we go. I just realized I put these in as the wrong heading type. Where's my home? Alright, let's go back down here to heading 4. Oops, this one is supposed to be heading 4 as well. The gem mines, also heading 4. And is that 2 lines? 3 lines. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Cat Market, also heading 4. Blasty's Crown is the next place. Alright, we'll save that there. Oh, you just look... Well, somebody mentioned that to me. I could have sworn it was you, Grab Permit. It could have been Levistro, I suppose. I don't remember. Somebody mentioned it. Kisnor. Fake it all. Fake it all up. I am going to, at the bottom of this document, because there is that Western Kingdom that I haven't done a lot of work on yet, where it's sort of like an Oriental kingdom, Oriental with a lot of Western mixed in, so it's not going to be the traditional, like, it's, you know, pagodas and things. It's going to be something akin to a group of people that, have much more tropical. So you'd see something from, if you mix the idea of like an Eastern kingdom with something down in the South American, like the Andes or in the rainforests, but in a fantasy world, because they're going to have a lot of cool cities and places and things, but it's going to be much more bordering on the tropical and islandy on their peninsula, and they're going to be very good at certain things, but it won't be the traditional, like, we make the best swords or whatever. I have some other traditional things that they are very good at, which is why their people, are sought after for certain things. But they also have a mixture of some islanders cultures. So the way that they build is very unique and interesting. I'm still working on that culture off to the side because it's an interesting mix, and I'm trying to find a good way to put it. But the word Kiru really gives me an idea of how I could actually implement that into either the name of the place or a city or the people. So yeah. Krylo is very close to what other word was it? Oh, Krylon, but yeah, which is the spray paint, which we want to do spray paint. But Krylo. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm throwing that into my brain. I'm gonna tumble that one around for a while. See a smile behind that grimace, Chrysanth. Yes, Chrysanth loves the puns so much. She's totally not dying inside when she hears them. She's dying inside when she hears them. Cortar is Spanish for cut. Ooh. That makes sense. Those are some fun words. Those are fun words. I like those words. Oh no. Somebody's dreaming on my lap. He's doing the twitchy whisker thing. Krylo means wing. Oh, nice. You absolutely didn't just add Bailey's to your hot cocoa. Oh my goodness. I love it. Amazing. Good job. Oh, Do any of you guys like Girl Scout cookies, the Thin Mints specifically? Because I was told yesterday, day before, get a shot glass and you fill it half full of, I'm going to get this wrong, crap. Not crap. You don't fill it full of crap. It is half full of, I want to say Rumplemans. Yeah, Rumplemans halfway up. And then a quarter full of Frangelico and a quarter of Bailey's. Supposedly, that shot tastes like a Girl Scout cookie, the Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie. I've never tried it because I don't have any of those on hand. But Rumplemints, Frangelico, and Bailey's. And the person who told me about it said they heard about it on, oh God, I don't know, Instagram or something like that. Like, oh, well, okay, whatever. The Wikipedia of not Wikipedias, something like that. No, Gino, no. I'm hissing at you. I'd hiss louder, but I'd wake up this big furry monster on my lap and he would attack me. Sorry, buddy, I'm trying to get a burr out of your fur. I'm not trying to hurt you while you're sleeping. There you go. All right, so I'm putting these words down at the very end here because I like them. I like them. Oops, there's too many S's in that word. Cool. All right, well, I'm almost out of time here, so I'm technically about a minute away from being done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say thank you all for coming along. I am Frost. This has been Frost Written, where I'm working on the lore for Erudi's Legend Seeker role-playing game, the tabletop RPG he's working on right now. And it's been a fun little trip today, you know, from the weird hot sauce concoction all the way down to the end of us talking about words for cutting. And Calvino made an appearance. Everybody had all kinds of fun input. I got a lot of stuff done and a lot of things written. And we'll be doing this again on Tuesday. Same channel, same time. You can find me here on those 2 days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can find me Sunday for Rifts. You can find me Monday for Cthulhu. You can find me in the One Ring podcast sort of format that we're going with for the Moss's campaign when it comes out. And you'll probably see me in other things at some point soon too, but you can also find me on all my links on my link tree. And you can go read some of my stuff on Kindle Vella. You can obviously read some of my stuff when we get this all done. And if you happen to know of a literary agent or publisher out there who's not completely crazy, let me know, because I'm still querying my first novel too. We'll see. I'll get somewhere with it. And I'm going to get going on that note. I'm going to go scratch this kitty cat's tummy before he gets all grumpy. And thanks for coming along. I will talk to you all a little bit later. Bye. Don't forget to like and comment, please. And thank you. Otherwise, Chrysanth will come after you with their silver shovel of death.